Hello everyone! I hope that you're doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. As you can see, it's kind of gloomy and dark today. But that's why I love fall, because even though it's gloomy and dark and rainy and all of that, all the reds and the yellows and the vibrant oranges, all those beautiful colors make it seem as if it's still perfectly all right. You look at the gloomy skies and you're like, well, but what about those red trees? And look at those red leaves and those orange leaves and those yellow leaves. Oh, everything's okay, right? All right, I should stop talking about fall so much. In this video, I wanted to speak to you about change. It's kind of a weird topic. I'm sure you're like, change, what? So I'll start off with a story why I started thinking about this. Why I started thinking about all other things is because of what things happen in my life. But I have a tree in my backyard. You've probably seen it actually. I've done videos next to it. It's one of my favorite trees in the world. It's beautiful. It's also my favorite tree because I planted it 10 years ago when we first moved into this house. I was like, I want a tree in the backyard. So, when I'm not even here, there's a huge tree in the backyard and it covers up the house and it protects the house from the sun and makes it cooler in the summertime and warmer in the wintertime and all those things. I had all these ideas in my head. And so I planted it, and now, it was a baby tree when I planted it, obviously, and now it's huge. It's 2-story high and it's gorgeous, right? I'm saying it from a parent's point of view, but it is pretty. And I look at it every day. So whenever I sit down to have breakfast or lunch or dinner, I'm always looking out the backyard window and I'm looking at the tree to look at how it's doing, just looking at it because it's my baby. And of course I notice changes in it, right? So as soon as it changes colors or anything like that, I notice it. And I've been watching it every single day. So I literally sit in the same spot every day. My parents know that I like sitting there because I want to look at my tree. They always make fun of me for it. And I sit there and I look at my tree, right? And so I would notice if any changes happened in it. And so one day, 2-3 days ago, I was looking at it. It's green, it's perfect, it's the way it is always. Like throughout the summertime, it was green. And I wake up the next day, literally the next day. So I look at it at dinner time and it's green. And I wake up the next day and I sit down to have breakfast and I look out and it's yellow, completely yellow. Like that tree behind me that you see that yellow, it's completely yellow. And it was green the day before. Like it was literally like a day from like an overnight process. And so I'm looking at it, I'm like, am I seeing things right? Like, is it yellow? And I'm just standing there flabbergasted because yesterday was green, today it's yellow, right? And so I asked my mom, like, the tree is yellow today. And she's like, yeah, I know. I woke up yesterday and it was green and today it's yellow. So obviously everyone got over it pretty quickly. But for me, I'm just sitting there thinking, oh my God, things change so fast. My baby's growing up, obviously, is one of the thoughts I had. But also, just one day to the next and everything's just completely different, right? This is a very simple scenario, looking at a tree. It doesn't really matter for you, perhaps. For me, it does matter a little bit more. But it's not like someone died or something, right? Like, it's yellow now, whatever. But if you kind of look at it from the different perspective of things change so fast, right? Things change so fast that you can't even be sure of it. I'm 37 right now, and I literally don't even know how I spent 37 years of my life. I can't remember a single thing that I did. I can't remember anything about it, right? It just passed by as if I was 1 year old, and now I'm 37, and I'm just like, what happened to 36 years? Like, where did they go? Now, of course, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but not that much, because I swear, I'm sure if I'm still doing videos, as I said, at 65 or 70 or whatever, I'll be standing here saying, so, I used to be 37 and I used to stand there and I did those videos and now look at me, I'm 65. Like, time is just like flying by so quickly, and just change happens so quickly as well. You can just look at your own lives perhaps right now with the coronavirus, with the pandemic, and you're looking at it and thinking, yeah, I did not expect my life to be what it is right now as it is. Hopefully it's all not too bad and not all negative. Perhaps it's some positive stuff as well, hopefully. But I noticed for myself as well, a lot of things have changed in my life. Not only, of course, financially, Not only, of course, the fact that I'm not in Chiang Mai right now, which is where I usually would be right now. Not only the fact that, I'm doing so many different things from my life that I've never done before. So much has changed. It's like just transformational. It's just from one day to the next. You look at yourself and you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, who is this person I'm looking at? I can't even recognize her, him, it anymore. They anymore, right? And so I kind of wanted to do this video because I'm kind of obsessed, as I've said before. I'm obsessed with the idea of change, transformation, and death. You're probably like, can we stop talking about death already? But I really noticed, I think that's one of the reasons why people are so uncomfortable right now with the coronavirus pandemic, is because death is not only, it's not something that you can kind of be like, all right, that happens to someone over there. I'm still young, so it's not going to happen to me. Or I'm still in this age bracket, so it's not going to happen to me. It only happens to those people. Because right now with the coronavirus, you have noticed probably that it's not just old people that are dying. It's not just affecting old people either. It's affecting everyone from every age bracket possible. Especially a lot of people in their 20s are like, no, it's never going to happen to me. And I see them like, posting about the fact that they got coronavirus. I'm not saying that it's a positive thing or a negative thing, but I do think it's coronavirus, but I do think it has resulted in some really good things in the fact that we're actually thinking about death a little bit more. And I always think, and I've said this many times before, I always think that any conversation about death, any contemplation about death, any time you're actually sitting down and thinking about your death or someone else's death or death in general, is always time well spent. Because that's the kind of time you want to spend right now so that you can actually live the life you want, rather than dying and then realizing, right, I wish I had thought more about my death so I could have actually lived the life that I wanted to live. Now, also, I believe that because of the fact that death is becoming so much of a closer possibility to a lot of people, they're actually realizing what's really important to them. I'm noticing so many people who are messaging me and other people and just in general commenting about the fact that they've really realized, due to the fact that because of coronavirus, because of the time that they were given, because of the space, because of all the deaths happening around them, because of all the closeness to the possibility of end, right? The end is coming soon, their end or someone else's end. All of that is bringing up the thought process in their head that they want to live a life that's worth living, a life where they're actually doing the things that they want to do, a life where they're actually spending time with the people that they want to spend time with. And this question always comes up, if you had 24 hours to live, what would you do with your time? If you had 7 days to live, what would you do with your time? If you had 6 months to live, what would you do with your time, right? And if you notice that every single time your answer will be pretty much the same, and it'll be pretty much, I want to spend time with my family or the people that I care about, and that's pretty much it. Maybe eat a few foods that you like, but really that's it. Like, there's nothing else that anyone really puts on that list. Like, if you had 24 hours to live, really, like, you would not be doing anything else. You would not be sorting out your baseball cards, or I don't know, thinking about traveling to Morocco, or unless your family lives there, or I don't know, looking at your shoe collection, or washing your car. You wouldn't be doing anything monetarily. You wouldn't be, maybe you'd be signing a will and all that stuff. You'd be like writing out a will or a testament or something like that, so that your family gets all of your assets. But besides that, you would all of us would be spending time with our families. We'd be like, all right, cool. All right, I'm dying tomorrow. I have a day left. Where's my family? where are the people that I love, right? And then you go and spend time with them, and that's it. Like, that's really literally what you would do. There's nothing else that you would want to do. There's nothing else that you'd think about doing. There's nothing else that you'd even contemplate doing or have time for it, right? And so it doesn't change that much from 24 hours. If you had a week to live, really pretty much similar. You would spend time with the people that you love, and perhaps you'd kind of sort out a few of your assets and sell some stuff or give stuff away or things like that. Basically, that's it, right? 6 months to live, pretty much the same thing. Spend time with family or the people you love, and then sort out your stuff so that you don't have to deal with your stuff when you're gone. And that's basically it, really. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little bit presumptuous, but I would love to hear from you. Do you think that it would change at all? I really don't think so. I can't imagine anyone thinking about doing anything else. Maybe they'd be like, oh, I want to travel a little bit, but it would be that I want to travel with my loved ones. It wouldn't be like, all right, I'm going on a trip by myself. Maybe. I mean, I don't think so. But so that like really puts things into perspective, and as I said, the pandemic has had that effect where people are actually thinking a little bit more clearly. All right, what's really more important to me? What's really most important to me, right? What do I really want to be doing with my time? Do I really want to be spending time on things that I really don't care about? Or do I want to spend it with my family? Or do I want to spend it on things that I really care about? Or do I want to spend it doing things that I really, my heart desires, that my heart really wants to do, right? And that's why I know the pandemic is obviously a very negative thing in a lot of ways, but also I think this has had this positive effect of making people think, what is actually really important to you? What are you doing with your life? What if it ends tomorrow? Are you living the life that you want to live, right? And it's so important to ask these questions, but normally we don't because we're too busy. But because of the pandemic, because Mother Earth has given this chance to us to slow down, to be with our families, or to really be in the space where we can think about these things, the time has come for a lot of us to think about these questions and to answer them. And I really do think that's a very positive side effect of the pandemic. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Do you think that I'm being crazy saying these things, or has this happened to you? And what do you think? If you had 24 hours to live, what would you do at that time? I'd really like to hear your thoughts on it. Again, thank you so much for listening to my crazy rabbit hole theories and opinions and things like that. I really appreciate your support, and I shall see you the next time around. Bye for now.